Hi, I am out here in my greenhouse. I just wanted to make a video. It's been a bit since I've really done anything intentional that wasn't just collecting little clips here and there. I do need to do my hair soon, hence the bandana thing covering my roots. I'm probably going to do that shadow root thing I was talking about next time I tone, which will probably be within the next week or two. I'm just trying to think if there's really anything else to update on. This cat is trying to get in here. You may not be in here, little one. You may not. She always chews on my monstera leaves, and they're like poisonous for cats. She's never gotten sick, but she's damaged a lot of leaves. I don't want her to get sick. I also don't want her to damage the leaves. I am extra on edge about cats getting sick right now. Sorry, I was just watching to make sure she went around. I'm extra on edge about cats getting sick right now because Larry, one of our four, our only male cat, our little boy, he recently had a urinary issue. I will go into more detail about my cats and their urinary issues at some point. I definitely do want to talk about it, but the short and sweet of it is, a couple years back, he had what we assume were crystals. We got him on urinary food, no issues after that. With male cats, if you don't know, the risk of a blockage is very high, and a blockage is really, really serious, especially for a male cat. So it's something I've always been on edge about. We actually have all of our cats on urinary food now, even though only 2 of them have had urinary issues, just because better safe than sorry. We'd rather, spend a little extra on their food and try to prevent that. But cats have a tendency to tell you things in subtle ways sometimes. Sometimes they don't tell you at all if they're sick, and that's scary because you don't know sometimes. But he had been sitting in front of his litter box in a way that seemed, I don't know, I know it sounds crazy, but it seemed like he was trying to tell us, like, hey, I'm uncomfortable. And at first we thought it was just because he was like in the sun where he was sitting. The little mat in front of his litter box is like directly in the sunlight, but he was doing it pretty excessively. So we got him into the vet Wednesday, maybe? I don't know, it might have been Tuesday. Either way, it's Monday now, so it was last week sometime. And we got him in, they looked him over. He actually did have a UTI. So the urinary food is supposed to help with that a little bit, but it doesn't prevent them entirely. There's still factors that can cause infection and therefore UTI. So they gave him the Convenia antibiotic shot. Mary Jane, ponytail Tom that she's chewing on, is not technically is not dangerous for her, but I still would rather she not do it. I'm still getting used to this gimbal thingy majig, so bear with me here. Hey, I would really rather you didn't do that, okay? Okay, you're done. So when people say, why do you have a greenhouse in your house? I point out that I have cats. Even before having my now toddler, even before him, I had cats. So the greenhouse kind of keeps the plants separate. It is indoors. It's on my lanai, which does get a bit more heat inside than the rest of the house, even though it is inside. It's just because of the way the house is built. This lanai was at one point a Spanish patio, and then they enclosed it later. 70s house, love it. But I actually really do love it. I'm not even being sarcastic. I love my 70s house. I will get into something else related to 70s here in a moment. But back to the cat thing. Basically, it seemed like he was trying to tell us that he was uncomfortable. We took him in. Turned out he did have a UTI. Even the vet was surprised when they got his urine sample. She was like, I mean TMI, but she's like, it is pretty yellow. Like, hopefully this will just be a false alarm. But then she came back and she told us there actually apparently was a tiny bit of blood in the urine that they found during the test and bacteria. So thankfully he is good as far as we can tell. Sometimes he still sits on the mat in front of his litter box. We think he also just likes the rubber mat, but we're keeping a really close eye on him. The main thing that the vet told us to make sure of is that he continues to pee. They confirmed he didn't have a blockage at that time, but it's still a fear. So we're just making sure that he is still going to pee. And where my husband works, he sits sort of in like line of sight of the litter box. So he's confirmed that Larry has gone in, used the litter box, he's checked it after. We really micromanage the cats when there's stuff like this going on. Hey, what you doing? Let's also talk about the fact that I'm looking a mess right now. This is a, for lack of a better word, a forehead hickey. You know those suction cup spinny toys for babies that you put on like a window or something? Yeah, I have enough forehead that I left it on for too long, and I was letting my son spin it on my forehead, and this is what we were left with. And I don't even care. It's fine. It is what it is. That's from like Saturday night. I hope it clears up, but even if it doesn't, it's fine. Also breaking out a little bit around my chin. Hormonal. That's just, par for the course this time of the month. I am very deep into my luteal phase. Probably will be starting my cycle within a day or two. It would be cool if it came tomorrow because I think tomorrow is the new moon, and it would be cool to have 2 of those cycles in a row because last cycle started on the new moon as well. I just think that stuff is so cool. In other news, I took these clips while I was in the parking lot the other day because I wanted to show the state of my roots before my next bathroom hair color session. I think I've mentioned recently that I have started roller skating. I used to roller skate as a teenager, mostly inline, a little bit of quad, but inline was always my preference. I ended up recently picking quads up. I got some for free from a neighbor who was giving them away just to see if I could get acquainted with the feeling of being on quads. They were never my top preference because I never felt quite as stable on them as I did on inline. But after going inline skating a little while back, maybe a couple months ago, I realized, hey, I still have the muscle memory, but I still am pretty much relearning because it's been so many years. So why not learn quads? And that's what I have done. So I am not great at it. You'll see in these clips, I just take these for progress, so I can look back and see how I did at the beginning, because I am still very much a beginner. I am not counting any of my teenager rink rat years in my quote experience, because back then I pretty much put on my inline skates and just went for it. I didn't bother learning skill by skill and building on the skills to, actually get really good at it. I feel like I was good at it, but looking back, I didn't actually have the building blocks that they recommend. Like, you should learn this before you learn that so that you can do this, and all of that. I would just get on and go. And thinking about it now, I don't even know if I ever learned how to properly stop. I'm guessing I used the heel brake, don't get me wrong, but I probably was just slamming into the wall of the rink, if I'm being honest. The fact that I don't remember tells me that I probably never learned how to stop properly. So with getting onto skates as a 31-year-old, I did decide to go in learning first and foremost how to stop. Now, the T-stop eludes me. I can plow stop like nobody's business. Well, I'm sure I could get better at it. So really what I should be saying is, as of this time, I default to the plow stop. But I would really like to learn how to T-stop. And one of these days, I would love to be able to do one of those spinny stops, but I'm a long way off from that. Also, to go back to the matter of skates, so I got those skates, the quads, for free from my neighbor. I didn't really know anything about the brand that they were. They were definitely older, and I just kind of got them well, let me see, if I even have interest in pursuing this. The second night that I skated on them, one of the wheels busted. It was definitely dry rotted. So I was going to get new wheels, and my husband was like, just get new skates. You got those secondhand to see if you wanted to pursue this. Do you want to pursue this? Do you like the quads? I said, yes, I do. And he said, let's get you some new skates then. So he told me to pick out a pair. And after doing some research, I ended up going with the Moxi Rainbow Riders for a few reasons. One, the cost was definitely a factor. They are relatively inexpensive, and since I have a tendency to pick up hobbies and not stick with them, I wanted to get something that wouldn't be a huge investment up front. I figure I can always upgrade later, but I really like how the Rainbow Riders look, and I like how they feel too. I have kind of wide feet, so I heard they were good for that, and I can confirm they are very comfortable. I also didn't need anything fancy, just something sturdy to, kind of get me going. So if I decide to upgrade, I will probably end up sticking with Moxi, but I don't see myself needing or wanting to upgrade anytime soon. If anything, I would just make upgrades to the skates themselves. I am a huge fan of anything rainbow, so honestly, I don't have any desire to change the appearance of the skate itself. At this time, as you can see in these clips, I pretty much just skate around in circles. More recently, I don't have any clips of this, but I've been practicing like 1-foot glides. These videos just show me, skating in circles basically, doing bubbles, to figure out my edges and all that. I would love to be able to skate backwards. I would love to be able to spin. At this point, I'm just trying to start looking more graceful. I'm obviously not there yet. I wear all of the padding. Like, I wear wrist guards, elbow pads, knee pads. I wear like padded shorts and of course a helmet. I am not willing to risk any injury, like at all. I'm too old for that. So I do feel like I'm all bulked up when I'm skating, and it makes it kind of awkward looking. But I'm hoping I can get confident enough to sometimes skate without being fully padded up. But in the meantime, I just want to work on looking more graceful and figuring out, what to do with my arms and how to, I don't know, look pretty while I'm skating. I know that sounds silly, but I've just been filming myself so I can, over time, view my progress. As awkward as I look on skates right now, I'm just happy to have them and be able to go skating. It's a lot of fun. It's giving me something to do by myself. My husband hangs out with the baby, and I go find a skate spot and skate around. I have been skating at a tennis court near me. There's a couple of them, but I try to be careful about not going to the same place over and over. There's a couple other spots I go to as well. I don't want anyone to easily be able to say, like, oh, this person will be in this place at this time on this day. Like, I try not to be that predictable, but I do have a few favorite spots that I switch off between depending on a few factors. Oh, and something else I want to work on is using my toe stops. For some reason, that's not coming natural. In other news, I went to Strawberry Moon in Northport. I went a few years back and wanted to go again. Got some crystals. If that's your kind of thing, go check it out. It's such a cute little shop. This is just a real peaceful scene in my area. And then these are some videos that I took at Nokomis Beach. I like to go to their drum circles sometimes, and I don't know, it's just a really fun atmosphere, and it's nice to be at the beach. Being a Floridian, I don't spend as much time at the beach as I should, and that's something I am trying to change. Looking at the colorful lights once the sun goes down is one of my favorite parts of going to the drum circles. It's just a really fun environment. Everyone has a great time. I mean, if you don't enjoy going to crystal shops, this might not be your thing, but it's my thing. I enjoy it. Oh, speaking of 70s stuff. So I mentioned I live in a very 70s house. We've got like wood paneling, all of that. Now, I do know the 70s aesthetic is not everybody's cup of tea. And if I'm being totally honest, I'm not even 100% committed to it. I love the idea of everything being 70s, but realistically, my taste is all over the place. I say tacky. My mom, being nice, she says bohemian. I think she said eclectic. My taste is tacky. I've got a little bit of everything, but I love 70s decor style, like 70s style decor accents is what I should say. And one thing that I've been after is, now I'll start by saying I get into plants and then I just take care of what I have. and at some point I get into plants again and I go buy more. I've been trying to be reasonable. I have a pretty good idea now of what I can keep alive and what I can't. And a while back I had these spider plants, the variegated kind, the ones that are very easy to find nowadays. And I did some like plant food. I gave it some plant food and it died. I definitely messed something up. It was 100% my fault, and this was years ago. And I never got another one. But I learned that back in the 70s, the spider plants, which, fun fact, are a hallucinogenic for cats. The spider plants back in the 70s that you see in like all the retro style pictures are all green. Now the ones that you see nowadays are variegated, just because the variegated stuff has gotten very popular. So while the green spider plants, to my understanding, are not actually rare in the way that like the Alba monsters were rare for a while, they're rare. I use the word rare in quotes here, in the context that they weren't as popular. So a lot of nurseries stopped selling them, meaning you can go to pretty much any nursery and find a variegated spider plant. Good luck finding a green spider plant at a nursery near you. Typically when people get them, they're getting cuttings from somebody that already has one, just because they used to be a lot more popular than they are now. So when I say I have a rare spider plant, I don't mean like, oh my god, it was worth a ton of money. No, I just mean I wasn't going to find this one at Home Depot. Essentially just rare in the sense that I am very excited to have found one. My phone keeps running out of memory, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. But yeah, when I say rare, I just mean rare in the sense that I'm excited to have found one because they are not really super easy to find. So a person near me was selling them for $2 a piece. I had to get in on that. I went and bought 3. The person selling them actually lived in the same neighborhood that I lived in, multiple states away. So that was kind of a fun little small world discovery. But anyway, I brought the pups home. They are on the windowsill in front of my kitchen sink. I have them all rooted in water. Hopefully they all take. I am really excited about them. I'm going to wrap this up. I am just going to go ahead and buckle down on this cycle sinking thing. Luteal phase, a lot of rest. Acknowledging and accepting that my skin looks like garbage right now. And actually it works out because this week is spring break for my son's play group. So we are going to mostly be spending time at home. Anyway, it's time for bed. Larry, do you want to say goodnight? Trying to turn this so we can see him. I'm still getting the hang of this thing. Bye.